rate than we are. We should be paying the lowest interest rate of any country in the world, because without the United States, you don't have a country. I mean, I had a case with Switzerland. We happened to be in Switzerland. Maybe I'll give you a quick story. But they were paying nothing. They make beautiful watches, great watches, Rolex, all of them. They were paying nothing to the United States when they sent their product in. And we had a $41 billion deficit. 41 billion with this beautiful place. Flew over it, isn't it nice? So I said, let's put a 30% tariff on them so that we get back some of it, not all of it at all. We still have a deficit, big deficit. We had 41 million. That's a big deficit. And I said, let's put a tariff on. Different tariffs, different places. You're all party to them. In some cases, victims to them. But in the end, it's a fair thing. And most of you realize that. But we put a 30% tariff on Switzerland, and all hell broke loose. They were calling, I mean, like you wouldn't believe. And I know so many people from Switzerland, incredible place, incredible, brilliant place. But I then realized that they're only good because of us. And there's so many other examples. I mean, us, probably other places, but a majority of the money they make is because of us, because we never charged them anything. So they come in, they sell their watches, no tariffs, no nothing. They walk away, they make $41 billion on just us. So I said, no, we can't do that. So I'm going to bring it up. I still would have a deficit pretty substantial, but I brought it up to 30%. And I guess Prime Minister, I don't think President, I think Prime Minister called a woman, and she was very repetitive. She said, no, 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 you cannot do that, 30%.
Guys.
You cannot do that. We are a small country.
To Trump here this morning.
I said, yeah, but you have a big deficit. You may be small, but you have a bigger deficit than big countries. He said,
Currently
no, please, you cannot do it. Kept saying the same thing over and over.
$2,850
but
this
you're
morning.
a big country in terms of, and she just rubbed me the wrong way, I'll be honest with you. And I said,
Kind of just been scalping around.
Appreciate it. Do not do this.
Caught the bottom
Thank
down
you very
here.
much, ma'am. And I made it 39%. And then all hell really broke out. And I was paid visits by everybody. Rolex came to see me. They all came to see me. But I realized, and I reduced it, because I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to hurt them. And we brought it down to a, lower level. Doesn't mean it's not going up, but we brought it down to a lower level. But they pay now, tariff. But I realized that we have many places like that where they're making a fortune because of the United States. Without the United States, they wouldn't be making anything. Think of it. Switzerland made $41 billion on us. And as she said, it's a small place.
Thought about longing right here.
And
probably should have done it.
I realized with that, I don't know, I was so, because she was so aggressive. And I realized in that conversation that the United States.
A lot of volatility.
Is keeping the whole world afloat.
And we're jumping 50 points like it's nothing. So
6, 7
be
places.
careful
just
on days like
in
this.
This little area, I know every one of them. They're sort of, they're looking down. They don't want to see me, and they don't want to stare me in the eyes. But they're taking advantage of, everybody took advantage of the United States. But I've been very fair, and I gave them a tariff, and it was fine. But I realized that without us, it's not Switzerland anymore. Without us, it's not any of the countries that are represented here. And we want to work with the countries. We want to work with them. We're not looking to destroy them. I could have said 39, 40%. I could have said I want a 70% tariff, then we make money with Switzerland. But Switzerland would have been probably destroyed, financially destroyed. I don't want to do that. But we should be paying the lowest interest rate of everybody. I hope Scott's listening to this, because we should be paying the lowest interest rate of everybody. Without us, most of the countries don't even work. And then you have the protection factor. Without our military, which is the greatest in the world by far, without our military, you have threats that you would never you wouldn't believe. You wouldn't believe. You don't have threats because of us, and that's because of NATO. One other thing, and I have to say it so importantly, in the old days, and I used to say I'm the youngest in the room. Now I'm among the older. I hate to say it. I don't feel old, but I'm among the older. But I remember not long ago, 20, 25 years ago, when good news came out about, let's say, the United States. The United States had a great quarter. The United States had a great month. All the stocks went up. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Now when they say the United States had a record quarter, it's unbelievable how well it's doing, all the stocks crash because they say, oh no, inflation, inflation, they're going to raise interest rates. And they do. Some of these stupid people like Powell, they raise interest rates. And what they do is they stop you from being successful. It used to be when we had a great quarter, a great month, great earnings, great anything, any good news, the stock market went up. That's the way it's going to be. We got to do that again because that's the way it should be. Now when we have a great month, they want to kill it. Like we did over 5%. People were surprised. We should do 20%. We could do 25%. When we announce good numbers, and the reason is they're so petrified of inflation. And growth doesn't mean inflation. We've had tremendous growth with very low inflation. In fact, growth can fight inflation, proper growth. So we want to get back to the days when we announce great numbers because we're going to be announcing phenomenal. You know, all these factories that are being built at record, thousands of businesses are being built right now. Remember, $18 trillion is invested. I think the second number is 3. And that was China many years ago. Investments in the country from outside. 18 trillion, nobody's ever seen. And that's money coming in and building things, factories. Thousands of businesses are being built, thousands. Hundreds of big factories, car plants are moving back to the United States. They're coming in from Canada, they're coming in from Mexico, from Japan. Japan's coming in and building plants here in order to avoid tariffs. They're coming in from China. They're coming in from all over the world. We have more plants being built now, car plants, than we've ever had built, even in the heyday from the 1940s and 50s. And they're bigger. They don't use renovations anymore where they take an old plant, they rip it down, they build a brand new plant, super modern plant. But it's happening at levels that nobody's ever seen. In 2024, the U.S. built less than 2 million new homes, but Biden admitted more than 8 million new migrants. And those days
3,100 down
in
the day.
2025, for the first time in 50 years, the United States had
It's pretty late,
reverse migration.
right?
Boy, that was
Pretty
nice.
late in the order flow here to be.
And these were criminals that were being taken out of our country.
But with him
because they
speaking,
allowed
we could see
people
some
to come into our
extremes
country
today.
From jails,
I'm surprised
from
that he's still
gangs,
talking,
drug
if I'm being
dealers,
honest.
Murderers, 11,888 murders. We've gotten most of them out. And then ICE gets beat up by stupid people from leadership in Minnesota. We actually are helping Minnesota so much, but they don't appreciate it. Most places do. You know, Washington, D.C. is the safest place now in the United States. It was a very dangerous place to walk, and now you can walk with your wife
It's all
and
right.
kids right through the
I
middle
don't
of the city
mind,
right now.
you know,
Washington,
again.
D.C. is as safe as it gets. It was one of the most unsafe. I had to admit, we sent in the military, the National Guard.
With this volatility, you got to
Within
be
2 months,
careful.
It was great. Within 3 months, it's like a really
What's going on with
great
this
place and a
volume
safe
profile
place and
over
a
here?
beautiful place. It's even been cleaned up. The graffiti's gone. The fences are gone. We don't have to worry about fences anymore. All of the places, the grasses are cut and replaced with new grass in many cases. It's all going to happen in the spring. But Washington and D.C. is beautiful again, and it's safe. New restaurants are opening up. They were all closing. Now you can't get into a restaurant. Restaurants in Washington, D.C. are all opening.
Really like to
Memphis
see a nice
also,
pullback
Memphis,
here.
Tennessee, New Orleans, Louisiana. We were there for 3 weeks. We've cut the crime down by 64%. Within another month, we'll have virtually no crime there. We can do that all over. We're going to help the people in California. We want to have no crime. I know Gavin was here. I used to get along so great with Gavin when I was president. Gavin's a good guy. And we're going to, if he needed it, I would do it in a heartbeat. I'd love to see. We did help them a lot in Los Angeles, a lot with the early in my term when they had some problems. But we would love to do it. I will say this, if I were a Democrat governor or whatever, I would call up Trump. I'd say, come on in, make us look good. Because we're cutting crime down to nothing. And we're taking people out, career criminals, who are only going to do bad things, and we're bringing them back to their countries. But where we've done it, it's been amazing. And we have a capacity to do it at much greater levels. We're cutting illegal aliens off welfare and other government benefits, and I have directed that starting immediately, there will be no more payments to sanctuary cities because they are really just sanctuaries for criminals. They're really protecting criminals. And
it's
those
amazing to me that the governor of California,
the mentally insane,
they
emptied their
mental institutions into the United States. But I guess they probably produce more
crime numbers that we've ever had in
than
the
just
history
about
of the
any other
country.
state. So
just came out. But equally importantly, we're cracking down on more than $19 billion in fraud that was stolen by Somalian bandits. Can you believe that Somalian? They turned out to be higher IQ than we thought. I always say these are low IQ people.
So here we are.
Money. And we have, they're pirates. They're good pirates, right? But
This is the overnight session.
Shoot the drug boats out. They're not pirating too many boats lately. Do you notice? When they
overnight session. Let me collapse this.
$1.5 billion tanker loaded up with oil, and they say we're going to blow up your boat. They have powerful weapons.
So we're basically at the overnight session VWAP here.
Petrified, so they say just give them the boat. We'll give them money instead. And I don't do that.
If we break and hold above this, I mean, you could possibly fill the gap.
We do. They won't be there long. We've cut down with the hitting of the boats that are loaded up with drugs, including submarines. Can you believe they actually buy small? They call mini subs, very fast.
Not the strongest tail right here.
The Democrats say they were fishing. You have ruined somebody's fishing weekend. I would say a submarine is not a fishing boat. You don't fish. But we've knocked down drugs by water, the oceans, the sea, by 97.2%. Think of that. And I actually say, who the hell are the 3%? Because I would not want to be piloting one of those boats. We knocked them down, and now we're going to start on land. We're going to knock it all out. The land is the easy part. What we did on sea is incredible, and that's our great military. The situation in Minnesota reminds us that the West cannot mass import foreign cultures.
Here's where we're at, right? I talked to you guys a lot about this, about good risk to reward trades.
And Somalia is a
sold off pretty good, right? We got good risk to reward.
Got no police, got no military, got no nothing. And then we have this fake congressperson who they just reported is worth $30 million. You believe this? Ilhan Omar, talking about the Constitution. It provides me. She comes from a country that's not a country, and she's telling us how to run America. Not going to get away with it much longer, let me tell you. The explosion of prosperity and conclusion and progress that built the West did not come from our tax codes. It ultimately came from our very special culture. This is the precious inheritance that America and Europe have in common. We share it. We share it, but we have to keep it strong. We have to become stronger, more successful, and more prosperous than ever. We have to defend that culture and rediscover the spirit that lifted the West from the depths of the Dark Ages to the pinnacle of human achievement. We live in an incredible, changing period. It's an unbelievable time, but we have to take advantage of the time that we're in. In our hands are technologies that our ancestors could scarcely have. I mean, they couldn't have even dreamt some of the things that we see today. And so rapidly they're produced. I mean, AI, 2 years ago, nobody ever heard of the term, and now everybody's talking about it. And it can have some very good purpose. It could also have some dangerous purpose, and for that, we have to watch out. But some tremendous things are happening because of it. And we're leading by so much. We're doing so well. But opportunities that are bigger and grander than ever before in human history are right before us. It is the pioneers in this room. Many of you in this room are true pioneers. You're truly brilliant people. Just your ability to get a ticket is brilliant because you have about 50 people for every seat. I don't know what. That's Larry. Everything Larry touches turns to gold. He made this very successful. But you're in this room, and some of you are the greatest leaders anywhere in the world. You're the greatest brains anywhere in the world. And the future is unlimited, and to a large part because of you. And we have to protect you, and we have to cherish you. I always say we have to cherish our brilliant people because there aren't many of them. So together with confidence, boldness, and persistence, let us lift up our people, grow our economies, defend our shared destiny, and build a future for our citizens that is more ambitious, more exciting, more inspiring, and greater than the world has ever seen. We're in a position to do things that nobody else has ever even thought of before. And many of the people in this room are the ones that are doing it.
So we are now above the overnight VWAP.
You can do things that nobody else can even think about.
Well out of the value area.
Tremendous success.
So go quite a bit higher as long as the momentum continues.
Stronger, better than ever before. And I'll see you around. Thank you all very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
This is an important level here.
This was supposed to be
a
THI. Nice fire chat, Mr. President.
Yes, good.
I
got set up. I did know.
You made the job for the moderator really easy. Thank you, Mr. President, for your speech. I do have a few follow-up questions, if it's okay. Sure. I don't think I should start with Greenland, maybe. I'll start with the economy. The U.S. economy is doing really, really well. But how to sustain this growth moving forward? Because there's always a recession looming around the corner.
Well, you know, the one thing about economies and recessions is sometimes you get hit unexpectedly and there's nothing you can do about it. They're all brilliant people, but there's nothing. One example was COVID. We had an economy going at levels like nobody had ever seen my first 2.5, 3 years. And then I heard the word pandemic, not COVID. They came up with that name over a period of time. We won't get into that. But I heard the word pandemic.
Oh, no divergences. Like this thing is still primed to go. You got really nice laminar flow between price and order flow here.
George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, if they came back and ran as president and vice president, they couldn't.
Today's going to be one of those outlier days from an order flow standpoint, right? Like it's just it's ripping. Hey, what's up, Big J? Appreciate you coming back, man. And I came back too. I came back too. I was seriously thinking about not coming back. But multitude of reasons, but I'm here.
And we ended up with the COVID.
Had a good morning. I'm up about 2,800.
We did something that Operation Warp Speed
caught the bottom
was one of the greatest
down here
military feats ever. We did a great job
on the NQ.
Military used a lot of people, but sometimes you get hit with things, nothing you can do. You get hit with things like that unexpectedly, and we got through it. And when I left, the stock market was higher than it was previous to the COVID coming up. And I called it a great achievement. But things happen. Bad things happen. The things that we can stop are wars if we're smart. That we can stop. Those are a matter of being intelligent.
Hey, what's up, Brent?
And having intelligent people on the other side. Because wars are the worst of all.
How's things going, man? You feeling better?
But we can stop wars because that's sort of up to us. But things like dust flying in the air, wherever COVID comes from or whatever comes, sometimes you have to be a little bit lucky, but we are poised to have an economy like no
Gonna
other,
watch this little
not only
pullback
in this
here.
country, but anywhere. And you know, when you hear the kind of numbers that I can tell you that Scott Bessent was with me the other day, and he's looking at numbers. He said, I can't. And that's all he's done his whole life, pretty much your whole life.
Hey, Neat.
You weren't going to be a football player, I don't think. Scott was not that great at football, but he was always good at numbers, right? And he was looking at numbers. He said, I've never seen anything like
Lot
this.
of
Poised to do things
limit
that
order buying,
no other
guys.
country's ever done. And
Lot of limit order buying.
luck. I hate to say it, but
I should
we need a little luck. We don't
have
want to
jumped in there, man. That's all right.
Whoever thought?
Like I said, I'm trying not to push it too much because I don't want Apex to get mad at me.
The Spanish flu.
Anyway,
World War I ended because all the soldiers were sick. The soldiers were.
Can you hear me okay?
And that war was raging, and they were all dying from the Spanish flu. They were sick as dogs. They couldn't fight. So, you know, you don't know how that would have turned out. But
it might be because I've got the news going here in the background.
But we're poised to have the greatest growth of.
Just a second. Let me make sure that this thing's connected to the right mic.
There's been, when you look at what's happening in the United States, it's really amazing.
Thank you. One thing.
Test. Is that better?
I know you don't sleep that much anyway, Mr. President. Is the debt? The U.S. debt is high. Is now the biggest expenditure.
Yeah, it's probably. I think I might have had it on my laptop mic instead of my headset mic.
The thing is growth. I mean, growth is the way. If we grow like this, we go from having at 37 trillion dollars. We go from having high debt to low debt.
Good deal.
But we also are cutting expenses, you know, the old-fashioned way.
Good, appreciate it.
We have extraordinary growth. I think.
Yeah, so this is kind of an outlier day from an order flow standpoint.
We're taking in tremendous money from tariffs fairly, and again, I'm using them judiciously. You know.
And let me know if Trump's too loud. I can turn him down.
Gotten much more. I could have asked for much more, but we're using them judiciously. But I think growth, most importantly, and then cutting costs. Now, if you take a look at Minnesota, $19 billion in fraud and other things. People going to airports, they came into the country, they don't have 10 cents, and they're leaving with hundreds of thousands of cash in their bags. When we get to that, and our DOJ, Pam, and Todd, and all the here, I can tell you, Scott Bessent is working on that. It's a priority, right? You have your whole team. We're in there looking for where this money is coming from, how much it is. It could be more than $19 billion. Can you believe that? That's just one state. If we were able to cut out 50% of the fraud, 50%, and we should be able to do better than that. We would have
Close to the value area from yesterday. Value area high. Not a lot of volume or time built up.
It's not just the protests, the fake protests done by agitators.
Right here. So I think it'll probably pass through this pretty quick.
Professional troublemakers, but we are looking very strong at the money too in Minnesota and other places.
Guess there's pending home sales at 10 as well. You guys be aware of that.
US dollars invested in artificial intelligence and the frontier technologies last year also were driving growth exponentially in the US.
Well, AI has been a big factor. AI is massive. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg.
So watching the order flow from both ES and NQ.
And it was basically the size of Manhattan. This is not. I said, you got to be kidding. It's a plant that was miles long, miles wide, very high. I don't think it was high like the Empire State Building, but it was high. And it literally covered most of the island of Manhattan. That's called a big plant. And, you know, when
quick short here.
You're going to spend $50 billion building it. I said, what, you know, if you spend $50 million, you can build a nice little shopping center. If you spend $500 million, you can build a good shopping center. But how do you spend $50 billion? When I looked at this thing, I said, you think you'll be able to do it for that? It's
yeah, I'll take that.
when, you know, some of the plants that I see.
There's a free $200 right there.
And so big is we're letting them build their own electric generation. This way we have no problem, and otherwise they'd be complaining. There'd be nobody able to pay. You know, we have an old grid system, and not only that,
That's just based on
cheap price the excess
small
electricity that they
divergence
create
here,
back into our grid. So that'll solve some problems.
and
for certain towns
also
that don't have
simultaneously
enough electricity.
ES hitting
We also know
5K.
that on the AI there is fierce
So just
competition between
scalp
US
that
as the
short.
largest economy in the
Whoops.
world, 27% of the global GDP and 5% of
Maybe could have held it
population
longer.
doing that badly, and China. And
So we're
we
at
know that competition is very
$3,257
tough
on the
AI.
day.
I know you're heading to a state visit to China in April. How do you see the US-China relationship?
I know I talked to you guys
moving
before about using
forward? Are you
micros. I'm
able
not
to
using
combine
micros. I'm just scalping
this
full-size
tough
contracts.
competition with also collaboration?
That's just really a choice on
So
my
I've always
part.
had a very good
Um,
relationship with President Xi and with President Putin. Talk about, you know, the
I'll be honest,
powers.
making $150 to $300 a day
With President Xi of
felt a
China.
little slow to me.
He's an incredible man.
So I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to kind of my normal sizing and just trade it. I'm just going to trade it, right? Without stressing about trying to trade small because I'm streaming or whatever. I'm just trading normal. So
And I decided to do that because why should we have a problem over that? But I would do that, and they
You're
were.
a true diplomat, huh?
I became a diplomat for the first time. Well, you know who taught me that? Marco Rubio. He said, let me teach you about diplomacy. Hey, any guy that gets approved by 100% of the votes, think of it. He got liberal Democrats and radical right Republicans to approve him. He's the only one. The next one was.
So you guys can see that we're getting some kind of crossing vectors here, right?
Voting for him. And at first I wasn't happy about it. I said, wait a minute, I don't like that.
See how the order
And then
flow
it
is
turns
shifting
out
through
that the
here?
Democrats probably wish they didn't do that. And Marco has been fantastic. Marco, stand up, please. You have done a great job as Secretary of State. He's going to go down as the best Secretary of State. And Scott, and we have Susie, who's the first female Chief of Staff, and she's the best Chief of Staff, too. And I saw Lutnick, who I know spoke.
I do have a Discord, but it's not active. There's maybe
I want to pay
2-3 people in it.
because we have Chris.
I was originally going to do like a paid Discord along with some coaching, but I've decided not to do that, and that's primarily just because like a time constraint, right? Let me mute desktop here. Primarily a time constraint on my part. I just don't have the time, like, again, as a dad with 4 kids and active in my church and trail life and American heritage. You know, I do a lot of stuff on the side with a lot of other people, and so those groups, you know, they're in my personal life, they need my time. And so I don't have the time to manage a Discord or to I like this. I might try shorten this again right here. I just don't really have the time, right, to coach people and manage a Discord. So we got a pretty good order flow divergence here. Let's see if it sticks. Kind of got it. Same thing here on ES. Let's see if it holds. Yep. It's got to break this level right here, though. This is kind of key. It's breaking it. Come on. Give us another little push down here. Price is diverging from it. A lot of. Too much passive buying. Yeah, the only thing about longing for me is this, right? This big push down in the order book. It's a lot of selling pressure right there. With the divergence too. So let's see what happens. Where are we at here? So we just tapped that value area high from yesterday's value area. Let's see if we can get a break here. They're pouring on the selling. We're up 250 on it. Yeah. Give it another second here. See how much volume we built out here. Decent amount. No. All right, I'm gonna get out of that. Just don't feel again super strong about it yet. If it breaks this high volume node edge, I feel better about it. But it's wanting to diverge there. So that tells me that there's still a lot of limit order buying taking place.
Gonna sustain? Do you think we now will see Gaza reconstructed and billions of US dollars invested?
I do. I mean, I think we have peace in the Middle East. There are some little situations like Hamas, and Hamas has agreed to give up their weapons. Now, you know, they were born with a weapon in their hand, so it's not easy to do. When they were born with a rifle in their hand. It's not an easy thing for them, but that's what they agreed to. They've got to do it. And we're going to know, Jared, over the next 2 or 3 days, certainly over the next 3 weeks, whether or not
A lot of selling
If
pressure.
they don't do it, they'll be blown away very quickly. They'll be blown away. You know, we have 59 countries that are part of that whole peace deal. And some of those countries aren't even in
POC is
the Middle
still
East, but they're not
down
in the
at
Middle East traditionally.
25,200.
And they want to come in and take out Hamas. They want to come in. They want to do whatever they can. There's a problem with Hezbollah in Lebanon, and we'll see what happens there. But that's a problem. But there are these little flames. But there's peace in the Middle East. Now, had we not gone in and knocked out with those big, beautiful, we just ordered 25 brand new ones, the latest and the greatest, the B-2 bomber. Think of them. They went in there at 2 o'clock in the morning with no moon, no light, no nothing, and every single one of those massive bombs hit its target, 100,000-pound bombs hit its target, every one of them. And then on top of it, from a submarine 300 miles away, we hit the sites with tomahawks, which is an unbelievable weapon. So, you know, we did our job. If we didn't do that, you would have never had peace in the Middle East. And the countries like Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar could never have, and others could never have signed anything because you would have had this dark cloud, and the dark cloud was Iran with nuclear. Iran would, if we didn't take them out, they would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 months. They were very close to having the nuclear weapon, and we hit them hard. And it was a total obliteration. if they may try again, but they're going to have to try from a different area because that area was obliterated. Incredible thing we did. And because we did that, we were able to make peace. If we didn't do that, I would say, Jared and Steve, if we didn't do that, there was no chance of making peace because the countries I just named and other countries could have never signed off. They were afraid. They were afraid. We had a bully. The bully was Iran, the bully of the Middle East. They used to call it for years. They were the bully of the Middle East. They're not the bully of the Middle East anymore.
Mr. President, I know
There we
you
go.
even had to change plane last night, so I guess you didn't have much sleep, but I think you're but your energy is still there. I know you have several bilateral meetings. I know you're also hosting a reception. So thank you so much for coming back to Davos. Thank you so much. It's highly appreciated.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, very much.
Short again. Now that we're breaking out of that volume node. Yep.
All right, that was President Trump as he was speaking at the World Economic Forum, of course, giving a speech on a variety of topics, including Greenland, and then sitting down for that Q&A, which also included discussion on the Middle East, Iran, Greenland as well. Now, one thing that stood out, he did say during that speech that he will not use force. The U.S. will not use force to acquire Greenland. However, he says
I like
it
it
is a
that
small favor
order
to
flow
ask
is
of
making
allowing
lows
the
here.
U.S. to purchase Greenland, and says he is
Right,
not
a lot of
giving up
selling pressure.
anytime soon. If you are just joining us here on Live Now from Fox, it is 10:10 on the East Coast and 7:10 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'll be here for the next hour or so to bring you all of your top stories and live events from across the country and across the world. Right now, what I want to do is take that full, what you're seeing
Kind of picking
on
the
the
top
right-hand
here,
side of your
boys,
screen. This is
but
actually a House hearing that is now underway to discuss the Clintons. We're talking Bill and Hillary Clinton
all right, I'm gonna
and the potential.
pause the news here, get rid of that. And just us. So we're kind of testing that, the edge of that low volume node here. If this thing will break lower, well, it should drop quite a bit. If not, then we'll get out. Really don't want to see it come back up into this node too much. It may have to come up here and then sell off. We'll see. Definitely a shift in the order flow though, on both of them. Just a matter of how much traction it actually gets. It's always hard kind of picking tops and bottoms on these days because there's just so much momentum. I don't mind taking a stab at it, but definitely a shift in the order flow. Just a matter of if it's enough to overcome the passive buyers. So the order flow needs to continue lower for us to drop. I'm hoping that it does drop back down towards neutral and we can catch another long. But I'm also prepared to exit this if it gets it starts getting real squirrely. So we have small divergence. Not a micro divergence by any means, but now we're got a little more of a divergence. Again, this is happening at yesterday's value area high. There's a lot of kind of weak structure underneath us. Yep, probably have to I'll give this thing a little bit more room. I'm watching the reaction right here. This is going to be a key, this is a key area. If this holds, then it will, like I said, it will likely drop. But it may actually have to come all the way back up here. All right, well, probably have to take the L on this. What's my tick? Yep, it just tagged 1,000. All right, guys. It's my daughter's birthday today, so I'm going to have to go here shortly. I'm going to give this trade another minute or two. I like this divergence that we're seeing here, but again, the ES has got to start breaking down for it to work. We are currently behind about 400 bucks on this trade, but altogether we're up about 2,600. So not a bad day, and I'll try to be on a little bit longer tomorrow. But I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.